Hey guys, Big Red 3 10 is here with his TNA Final Resolution pay-per-view review. Overall, I'll say it was a good pay-per-view. In reality, most people say it was a three-match show. Cause really, except for maybe one other match, every other match I really despised. Like, I'm not even lying. I hated a lot of things about a lot of the matches. So, oh god, I was just furious. Before the double main event, I detested this show. I hated the show. But the double main event, like, not only saved it, actually made it good. Because the double main event was great. Not as good as the double main event last pay-per-view, but this was still pretty good. So, also I got in the final countdown. I'm trying to finish this one up tonight. I've seen, like, 6 of the matches. Excellent, excellent show. Okay, now to this pay-per-view. I'll say this is... Some people are going to hate it, and some people are going to love it. Let's just put it that way. Right, we start off with the Motor City Machine Guns versus the British Invasion. This was an excellent opener. 3.5 stars. Lots of fun. God, the Motor City Machine Guns were over. Shame that TNA doesn't care to give the titles on them. I know it doesn't make sense to give the titles on them now. I know that the British Invasion deserve a longer run. But, like, that's what people in my Skype chat were saying. You know, it doesn't make sense. The British Invasion deserves a long run. And I said, well, you know what? The Guns have been deserving of this title for 2 years now. So I don't care about the present storylines. And I desperately rooted for the Guns to win. I kind of knew they weren't going to win, but fuck, what are you going to do? 3.5 stars. Lots of fun. Lots of fast-paced action. Lots of cool moves in this match. Really got me hyped for the show and actually made me believe that TNA would deliver. Then we get to Tara versus ODB. This match was okay. It's 2 stars. I thought it would be a lot better. Tara won in a bad way. Very anticlimactic. I think ODB was going for a suplex and Tara reversed it into a roll-up. And that's it. Like, out of nowhere. Like, literally out of nowhere. So then she won. I don't know really how I feel about that at the moment. I mean, I liked it. At first when I saw it, I was like, yeah, Tara won. I'm like, okay, wait. She won in an impromptu, nonsensical fashion. Kind of the same way she won her last title. So I'm not so sure. 2 stars, though. I didn't like the match. I thought the match was okay. Everyone in my Skype chat really hated it. I thought it was okay. And I thought Tara winning kind of helped it out a little, even with the bad ending. So I'm going to go 2 stars. Let's get Feast or Fired. Okay. This was a mess. This was your definition of a mess. Of a horror match. I told the guys, okay, 2007, the Feast or Fire was in the middle of the show, and it sucked. Last year, it opened the show, and that's what made it good. This year, it's in the middle of the show, so I said, okay, it's not going to be good. And they're like, nah, it can be decent. I'm like, nah. No way. This was wretched. There was very little wrestling. I remember very little spots except for like the last 2 minutes with Lethal Consequences and Homicide, who did some cool stuff. But there was nothing. Okay, so Sheik Abdul-Bashir and Cody Dinero fight over one of the briefcases. The briefcase falls outside. I actually like that. You know, they're fighting over it, and the briefcase falls outside, and they both jump for it. They're both holding it. And then the referee says, you both have it. You both have it. I'm like, what? That's bullshit. And then Sheik Abdul-Bashir kicks Cody Dinero, and Cody Dinero lets go. Now he lets go. So now Sheik Abdul-Bashir has possession of it. But before they announce anything, Sheik Abdul-Bashir hits Cody Dinero over the head with the briefcase, and then they say, Sheik Abdul-Bashir has possession of the briefcase. Now this makes no fucking sense. After Sheik Abdul-Bashir gets it, Rob Terry, like, immediately goes up and grabs one, and he stands in the ring, and they say, Rob Terry won a briefcase. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, don't you have to leave the ring? Wasn't that a thing with the Guns last year when they didn't leave the ring and Jay Lethal took the thing from them? Don't you have to leave the ring? You have to leave the ring to get the briefcase? But he just is in the middle of the ring. Eric Young and Kevin Nash like talking to him, and I'm thinking, okay, one of them's going to grab the briefcase and go through the ropes. But no, nothing happens. They say, Rob Terry has the briefcase. And then he just leaves. Then Kevin Nash gets it, and again, same thing. And then Joe gets it, which I liked. And Joe was over, and Joe played as a face. Joe played as a face, and he was over as hell. They were chanting, Joe, 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 Joe's gonna kill you. They were screaming for his name. He was over. Also, what I didn't like was they revealed who had the briefcases at the show, which I did like, but they did it very quickly. I understand for time, like, they didn't treat it with any importance. Kevin Nash won the tag titles, which makes no fucking sense, because we're going to get Kevin Nash or Eric Young, or they might bring back Scott Hall, which I doubt. Then Samoa Joe gets the World Heavyweight title, which I think is great. And then Rob Terry gets the X Division title. Who the fuck wants to see Rob Terry fight for the X Division title? Who the fuck wants to see that? And Sheik Abdul-Bashir got fired. Whatever. Kind of works with this gimmick if you really think about it. 1.5. I thought the whole match was just poorly booked. I did not like who received the briefcases. I did not like who the people who received the briefcases, what they received. Clusterfuck, mess. The rules made no sense. This was horrid. 1.5. This was the 8-man tag match. Another match where the booking made no sense. 3/4 for this one. Okay, Rhyno is the team. They started 4-on-1. Rhyno, T3D, and Jesse Neal versus Hernandez. 4-on-1, and then after 5 minutes, all Hernandez's teammates will come in. While they're in 4-on-1, Hernandez eliminates Rhyno with a fucking schoolboy. Rhyno's the captain of the team, who gets eliminated in the first 5 minutes, who gets eliminated by a schoolboy, who gets eliminated when he has a 4-on-1 advantage. That makes no sense, TNA. Then the partners come out. Now here's the most nonsensical Russo bullshit booking of the night. Not the stipulation, which is 4-on-1, which is dumb. Jesse Neal hits Suicide over the head with a chair. And then Hernandez hits Neal with a chair. Now, they never said that Neal was disqualified. And then they disqualified Hernandez. And Taz's like, wait a minute, why isn't Neal disqualified? Neal used the chair. Today's like, well, why didn't Neal get DQ'd? And then they reveal like 5 minutes later, yeah, Neal was disqualified. I'm getting word now that Neal was disqualified. 2 things. A, why wait a while to say that? And B, if Neal was disqualified, then why, when Hernandez hit over the chair, why did that matter? Neal was eliminated from the match. If Hernandez hits him with a chair, why should he get disqualified? He did not hit an opponent who was part of the match. If you go outside and hit a manager with a chair, you won't get disqualified because the manager's not part of the match. That makes no sense. And then Team 3D eliminated Suicide and Dinero like that with 2 straight, not 2 straight, but like 2 3Ds that kind of came out of nowhere. Now, the reason this match was a 1/3/4, not a total dud, was because the Matt Morgan and Team 3D stuff was fine. You know, they had some good wrestling. And Matt Morgan won, I'll spoil it. They kind of put him back over. They put him back over after this whole bullshit thing, after he had his feud with Angle. I like that they put him back over. So, I'm happy with that, but still 1/3/4. This was just poorly booked. In every which way, you want to see a Russo match? This is the definition of a Russo match. Bullshit. Let's get Scott Steiner versus Bobby Lashley. Okay, like Jared said, it did over-deliver. I thought it would be horrible. It was okay. It was 2.5 stars. I thought it was decent. But just because it over-delivered, does that mean we should reward the match for it? No, the match was still only okay. Only okay. And Lashley, the ending was botched. Crystal threw Lashley the pipe. Lashley dropped it. Lashley's rolling around trying to pick it up. And then he just turned around and speared Scott Steiner. That made no sense at all. 2.5 stars. But it was decent. Next you get Foley and Abyss versus Dr. Stevie and Raven. And again, of course, TNA did not announce that this was a no-DQ match. Right there at the match. Okay, Raven and Dr. Stevie come out, and Taz McTNA says, well, I'm getting word it's a no-DQ match. How come they never told us? Yeah, I never knew it was a no-DQ match. And then Foley and Abyss come down, and then Foley says, with my executive powers, I'm making this, and it doesn't say a no-DQ match. He says, a Foley's Funhouse rules match. Originally, this match was called a challenge match. Guess what? A challenge and a match are the same thing. And now it's changed to a Foley's Funhouse rules match. But this was fun. I'll agree. This is the 4th best match of the night. This was actually decent, you know. I kind of enjoyed it. I really did enjoy the table spot where Foley did the elbow Dr. Stevie through the table with the barbed wire on top of him. That was cool. I really liked Abyss's torture rack to Dr. Stevie, and while he gave a leg drop to Raven, I thought that was really cool. But the thing that bothers me with the match is the name, the impromptu change, and the fact that the guys went backstage to get the weapons. Foley disappears for like 5 minutes in this match. The fans chant, we want Foley, and he comes back with a whole cart full of weapons. It just seemed weird. It was short. But I enjoyed the match. I'm going to give this 2 3/4 stars or 3 stars. I had fun while I watched it. Isn't that really all that matters? And I didn't mark out for that torture rack leg drop thing. I didn't mark out much at all during the night. And then we get the double main event, which is pretty much the reason why people buy TNA pay-per-views now. Kurt Angle versus Nigel Desmond Wolfe in the 2 out of 3 falls match. Okay, they were in the cage the whole time because obviously to set the cage takes a while. The rules were you just couldn't use the cage on your opponents until it was the 3rd fall, and you couldn't escape the cage until it was the 3rd fall. First, here's what I don't like about the match. The first fall was pinfall, 2nd fall submissions, 3rd fall cage match. The first fall had a lot of false finishes, and then it had a lot of submission match wrestling in the first few parts of it. And then the 2nd fall was all submissions, and then the 3rd fall was false finishes in the cage. You can't go from submissions to false finishes to submissions again. The match doesn't flow well. I think they should have done the submissions fall first, then done the pinfall, falls, fall finishes, and then the cage escapes. Really, the match didn't flow well that way. It really made no sense. But the wrestling was excellent. I'm going to give this 4.5 stars or 4.25 stars. I'm not so sure about it. I thought it was excellent. People my Skype started giving it 4.75, 5. I think that is way too high. I don't think there's any way this match compares with all the great 5-star match. Of this year, is this match better than Shingo, Davey Richards? No. Taker, HBK? No. I'm going to put it in my top 10 match of the year because I enjoyed their last match more because their last match had more of a stressful, oh my god, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next feel. This match didn't really have that. I kind of say their last match was better in a way, more enjoyable. I don't know. I'll have to rewatch this one. 4.5 stars. Let's get the main event. AJ Styles vs. Daniels. This was excellent. 4.25 stars. I wanted it to be a little longer, but it had so many excellent must-see spots. There was a few botches in here that did hurt it, where it looked like AJ and Daniels fucked each other up. But 4.25 stars or 4 stars. Lots of fun. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to give this pay-per-view an 8. It had 3 very good matches on here, but there was also a lot of shit on here. I'm Mick at 310. I'm out, guys. See ya. Go buy this pay-per-view.